Hey everybody, so we got another video. Well, I'm excited to bring this to you. So I'm doing a whole series of videos to kind of talk about back to school, how to structure your classroom, what to do. This one is going to be about the 5-rule limit on your classroom poster. You cannot do more than 5 rules in your room. Now I know you're going, well, wait a minute, how 5? Where did you get that from? Well, it actually is from the psychological research and from the data. Now, if you want to know more about that research, please go to pbis.org. This is 50 years of psychological research that they have done that says if you do more than 5 rules in your class, the kids cannot follow. It's too much. There's too much going on. So you have to have a limit of 5 rules on your class poster. So if you have 10, if you have 20, if you have a big contract, I'm going to tell you right now, your kids are going to have a real tough time following those rules. But not only that, but if you want to reinforce them, more than 5 becomes unwieldy. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed with classroom management, it might be because you have too many rules. It puts you, the teacher, in a very difficult position because every rule you have to reinforce, and you have to be consistent with that reinforcement. So the more rules you have, the more work you create for yourself, which is the reason why psychologists and expert educators recommend a 5-rule limit. All right, so if you want to know more about how to structure a classroom management, please go to leafacademy.org. Yes, .org, because we're an online school. We have an open enrollment right now for the Teacher Development Program. That is a 10-month professional development program. This is the most effective, most comprehensive, most supportive program for you as teachers. And I know that sounds really like marketing, like salesman stuff. I'm not a salesman. I am an expert educator. I'm recognized by the New Jersey Department of Education, by the Teachers for Good Trouble movement, and also by the Joint Legislative Committee for the Public Schools. So I have worked for 20 years inside the K-12 system. I started as a teacher, became a principal, then a superintendent. I understand the pressure that teachers are under, which is how I was able to, with the research that I've been doing for the last 10 plus years, to basically develop this program. This is the most effective teacher development program, and the reason why is because I have the data to prove that. I've been running this since 2009, so over 10 years. I have more than 4,000 educators have benefited from this program, and not one of them has quit the profession of teaching. That's basically like a miracle compared to where the stats are. Understand that the National Education Association has said that 50% of teachers right now are considering quitting this year. We've already lost 1 million teachers quit the profession over the last 5 years. My program, again, the numbers are not as big, but that's because it was only available in person. COVID destroyed all in-person professional development. So I had to figure out how to go online. That's why I launched Leaf Academy in 2020, and that's why this teacher development program is available now to you nationwide. So if you're an American teacher, public, private, charter, it doesn't matter. If you're a teacher in America, you can join this program right now. It is 10 months of professional development. That's 10 lectures. There's 10 months of coaching. You're going to get help in the classroom. That's what you want. You're also going to get expert answers and feedback. Like I'm talking about, there's 5 rules that you can do in a classroom. I've done a video on the pencil dilemma. I've done another video on like how you actually get yourself less stressed out in class. What you need to know is that this is doable. The system and society has made teaching overcomplicated. It's not as complicated as you believe it is. You're making it harder than it needs to be. But the only way you're going to make it simpler is if you walk through this program. We're going to break teaching down into 4 critical areas. These are the 4 most research-based critical areas: lesson planning, teaching techniques, student assessment, and classroom environment. You know those are the most important pieces. You know that. So when you think about it, okay, do you know how to write an expert lesson plan? Do you know why you write an expert lesson plan? If not, join the program. That's what we're talking about. Do you know how to use a rubric to boost student achievement? Not to grade what they're doing, but to actually improve student achievement. If you don't, join the program. If you are having trouble with classroom management, well, join the program. You're going to get 10 months of professional development, 10 months of coaching, and 10 months of expert advice and feedback. You need to ask questions. But right now you have no one to ask. You should not be asking questions on Facebook and on Twitter and on Reddit. You are getting bad advice. I'm telling you right now, you're getting bad advice. And the stats prove that. 1 million teachers have quit over the last 5 years. Why? Because they went to social media to get answers. And those answers were worse than before. You were actually doing better on your own before you asked the question on social media. So don't do that. This is the one-stop resource. Everything I'm going to tell you is research-based. Everything. And I know you're like, well, how could you know all that research? I've been doing this for 20 years. And all I've done is collect research. This is not my experience. I want to make that very clear because some teachers on social media get very, very touchy. They're like, well, you're discounting my experience. This is not experience that I'm talking about. I'm talking about research and expertise. I'm talking about knowledge. I understand your experience. I hear you. It's not the first time that a teacher has ever told me the same thing. Again, I've worked with more than 4,000 educators just in this program, and I've worked with more than 10,000 educators in general. So I've heard all the stories. In fact, I've probably seen more than you've ever seen. So I hear you, but when you tell me something, the question is, do we do better? I want you to be less stressed. I want you to be less overwhelmed. I want you to love teaching. The only way that's going to happen is if you know how to handle more situations, how you can do better for you. That's what I want. I want to give you the power to say, I'm going to structure it this way because that benefits me. You're going to be able to teach everything you want to teach. The students are going to learn. They're going to ask questions. They're going to participate. They're going to do work. And you're going to walk home at the end of the day, not exhausted, but sort of like, wow, that went really well. Even when the lesson plan doesn't even work, you're going to go, oh, that lesson didn't work, but I had an alternative and we got it going. I want you to be successful. Leaf Academy is the only school online that teaches people how to be successful. That's what I want to do for teachers. I want to teach you how to be successful. I'm not trying to get in your way. I'm trying to empower you and help you. Please, if you want to know more, go to leafacademy.org, O-R-G, because we're an online school, leafacademy.org, and sign up for the teacher development program today.